BTFU.
Well, welcome back to Young Guns episode 7, and I am back, Mace.
Welcome back,
nice
buddy.
of you to fill in for me last week.
You're welcome.
And now he's filling in for the old Nat Wood. He's here.
I wouldn't say old. He could be here later, and he will
just-
punch fuck out of you.
Now, I've got just before we introduce our special guest, a little bone to pick with you, mate. Geez, you gave me a rap last week. Not. What was that all about?
I can't recall. HIA.
Well, mate, when you get to 53, my age, and you've got no hair,
if I get the
and
53,
you're wrinkly, we'll be having a real crack at you there, mate. That's because I
but
tell
just
you
think, when I am 53 and wrinkly, how old will you be?
dead.
Mate,
Look, we better introduce our first guest. Our second guest to the show.
it says here, Manny Di Bartolo. It says bunnies.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Can you just turn your head to the side for a second? Are you sure it's not Canterbury? If that's not a Canterbury haircut, I do not know what
I
it
think
is.
it's a good
Shocking.
haircut.
It's my mate's home job. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Home job or head job?
home job. Home job.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he got me good.
As long
mate,
as you
it's
didn't
gotta
pay
be
for
the
it.
worst.
No, I didn't. No way.
That's good.
Mate, it's the worst haircut I've ever seen. It's worse than your
Stop
haircut,
giving it
by
to the
way.
poor
Yeah,
bloke.
I know.
Far out.
Manny, welcome, mate, to the Young Guns series.
Thank you.
Really are coming up in the world. We've gone from Hugo Savala to Emmanuel Di Bartolo.
Thank you very
welcome,
much.
mate.
Thank you
Welcome.
for having me. Can't
Yeah.
wait. It's a lovely setup you got here.
Yeah,
Bunch of funny blokes, and yeah, can't wait.
thanks, mate. Let's have a little chat about you. You're, obviously some bloke might have coached you, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
How'd he go?
Sorry,
You all right?
who's some bloke?
This some bloke is Gav. You wouldn't believe it. He's a master at his craft. Gav. I've been told not to rap him too much, but
That's Gav's job. Gav
Gav raps
raps
himself.
golf.
So no, but Gav was my Harold Matthews coach in under 16s at South Sydney, and we had a great side. And
Not a bad side, was it, mate?
we had Suwali, Davey, Colo.
Did you win the comp?
No, we didn't.
Would you like to tell them why?
Can I just tap into this for a second? So
Yeah.
you've just rattled off some of the biggest names in junior footy. Had an unbelievable coach. Where did it go wrong?
Yeah, well,
Go on then.
see, this is where it went wrong. So Waverley College, I'm a Waverley College old boy. We had a Japan tour, the Sanix tour in Japan. It's like one trip in a lifetime.
They're
And-
all over in Japan at the moment, actually.
Yeah, they're in Japan now, Waverley. And anyways, this trip doesn't happen often. One school from each country gets selected, and we magically got selected that year. We were running like gods in Harold Mats. And 2 weeks out before the trip, I actually told Gav I was going to stay and play with South. And then the school came back and said, no, you got to go the trip. Everything's paid for, blah, blah, blah. So came to training that Wednesday. I remember telling Gav, I was like, Gav, I'm sorry, but I have to go.
Did you cry, Gav?
Like,
Mate, I tried to do a third-party deal to get him back.
You're not at the chalks.
But
he's tearing up at the
the
moment.
the week before, we beat Manly in the first semi-final by 30 points with Manny there and Davey.
No, and Davey.
And then we lost both of them for the prelim final before the GF. And the word is that Newcastle, who won it, said, my God, thank God that South weren't in the final, because we beat them 30 points to 6 in the prelims.
rolled him.
Yeah,
Rolled
wow.
them. So,
It wasn't just me. Davey, who's playing in our own now for South.
Yeah.
He was our middle at the time, and that was massive. He would play the whole game, massive go forward, and we just lost it all. And
All right, so you touched on, you said Gav, one of the best coaches. Tell me one thing about him. What made him such a good coach?
just very direct, and he tells you how it is. He doesn't bullshit you. He goes, if you're not doing something to scratch, he'll pull you up on it straight away and not let it beat around the bush.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I liked about Gav. It was very. I remember our first training session in Harold Mats. Everyone was shit scared of him, and I think that's what you have to be of a coach. You have to be shit scared of your coach, because it will be a long season if you're mates with him the whole time. So
Did he give himself a rap at training?
always.
Always.
yeah.
Best coach in New South Wales.
Yeah,
is
he
what he
was
says,
a very good coach, and I love the way Gav made us attack. I felt it was very smart, and it helped the way we played as players. And
which complements your game a little bit as well.
yeah,
The
exactly. It
attack,
freed
yeah.
me up a lot, let me
Yeah.
take on the short side, which I like doing, and then we
Yeah.
just played off that.
I bet you didn't sport that haircut when
No,
you
I
played for
didn't
Gav.
actually,
nice.
because at Waverley we had to have short back and sides,
Yeah.
trim over the top like nice pretty boys. So.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, what it did for you that year is it probably put you in a position as probably the best half, I believe, in the competition that year in Harold Mats. And going forward, Been a tough couple of years for you, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, it's been very rough since then. It was that year. I remember we had a video session, and the New South Wales team came out. I was like, fuck, like, I wish I made that team. I was playing good. It was like our whole left edge made it except for me. I was like Devo at training. And after that, South didn't really work out. Went on to Manly. Played a couple games, young SG Ball, when they had their freak side of Tolu, Gordon Sheehan, Uselli, all these guns as well. And did Sindus most of that training. It's gone for the season.
Yeah,
and then didn't work out at Manly. Came back to saw Gav. I was like, Gav, what are you doing? What are you up to? He was at Tigers. He goes, I can get you over here. We need a half. And then trained for one session. Gav put me straight in. I was like, Gav, you're the man. And no one backed. This is the thing. No one backed this Tigers team we had. And we played West Magpies. Yeah. And this West Magpies team was stacked.
Yeah.
And we beat them. We knocked them off down in Campbelltown. And everyone thought that was just a fluke until a week later played Newcastle.
Yeah.
And we knocked off Newcastle, team that won the Harold match 2 years ago. And then people started to believe in us, and then
this could be, you guys could be like Wayne Bennett and Darius Boyd. Just you follow each other.
That's what I was telling him. Anyways, we got to the finals that year. We finished third, and we choked again. It was just I don't want to talk.
There was no Japan that year.
There was no Japan that year. That year was tough.
Yeah, it was. Look, we did a really good job that year. But mate, you went to school. Tell us your background. Waverley College.
Yeah, so Waverley Old Boy, like I said before.
Yeah.
Played first 15 since year 10 there. Fly half. I love my union. Like school footy was. I don't think you can beat it. Everyone says you can't. You literally can't beat school footy. Like playing with your best mates and you're smashing other schools like you just don't like. And played school footy union. I was Coogee Wombat Junior all my life. From under fives.
I want to quickly touch on the Waverley thing as well. Obviously, I went to Waverley, and you're the age above me, and I remember watching you play school footy there, and I just loved to watch you play. And I remember a particular play that you did against Cranbrook, where you ran through you saw a hole, and then you threw a big flick pass out the back to Ethan Halikatawa, and he went through. And it showed how the creativity you have as a player. Obviously, the Bunnies that you're at now, they've been utilising you at fullback. Do you think that gives you more creative spark at fullback to just play around with it and give you more freedom?
Yeah, completely agree, actually, because fullback, I've never played fullback before in my life. And
obviously, you're a half.
Yeah, I'm a half. And 2 weeks before season started, the coach told me the best way to get in the team is play fullback. So I was like, I'm a good ball runner. I'm good at counting numbers. I was like, you know what, I'll take it on. Yeah. So I did, and I ended up starting at fullback, and it just, your mind opens so much more, because as a half, you're stressing about creating plays and what points you got to get to. At fullback, you're locked in on following the ball around the ruck, and then freedom to go either side, and you just play off that, and you have a right to call hot calls, short sides, and pretty much play like a 6, but at fullback. And
what style of fullback do you try and play? Is there a fullback in the game right now?
Mitchell lazy. No.
So you don't touch the ball in your own half?
No, I love Latrell. I'm sorry.
You're talking to a Roosters man over here.
No, that went down well.
No, Latrell's a gun.
He's a freak.
No, just like Turbo, just like always be there, or Teddy, for example. Teddy's
You're not
always
6'1"
there.
or
I'm not
6'4".
I'm Italian, but so Italian like Tedesco, take it on. Yeah. But like, he just be around the ruck. That's what I got told. I was like, just be around the ruck, support the boys all the time for that offload, and that's really
that's a Teddy style of play.
That's Teddy to a T.
Yeah.
And even like I'm having a mind blank. It's all right. I'll get it later. There's another fullback in the comp. He's a freak. Always around the ruck.
Dylan Edwards.
There you go. Always around the ruck. And my dad was messaging me like, watch how Dylan Edwards play. He's a gun.
Yeah. He's amazing across the field. He's just so knows what's going on, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Knows where the kickers are going to be. He's pinpoint.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a fine line as well between overplaying your hand, which sometimes Teddy can be accused of.
Yeah.
And then also just being highly effective and being there at the right time.
Yeah. Well, when you have so much respect, like a player like Teddy, I think he has all rights to call the shots.
100%.
He's done it all, so I'd let him take the shots.
I do want to jump in quickly, Manny, with your game last week against the Storm. Your boys got a big win, 21-14. You were in that game off the bench. Give us your opinion on that game and how it went. Who played well?
Long day trip to Melbourne. Windy, raining, the worst conditions possible.
Yeah.
and got down there. These Melbourne boys, monsters. I tell you, they're the
Big
biggest
boys.
pack we've ever played.
Yeah.
Oh, big boys, and we had 4 middles out from last week. Big middles out, and we stepped up. We were up 14-6, and we didn't have the wind in the second half, and they started just dominating, kicking long, belting us in our own 20 metre. We couldn't kick out because of the wind. And then Romano Cook made a break, backed up to Nora. We scored. It was 20-6, 20-4.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had a good lead with like 20 minutes to go.
And another Nora field goal as
Yeah.
well. He kicked a field goal.
Can someone tell me what's going on with Nora's field goals?
Yeah,
Is he with
she kicks
sports
him
bet or
every week.
something?
He's smart, that kid. He's smart. It gives that pressure in the mind for the opposition. Like, you
Yeah.
need to score 7 points now, not just a try.
Not this try.
And when it first happened against Penrith, before halftime, I was like, Nora, if we get down there, let's take a shot. He's like, oh, that's a good idea. We should. Did it. Penrith, who won. Did it against Manly. We had the 3-point advantage. And then against Melbourne again. But, yeah, Melbourne in the second half, they got a mad roll on. Got to 20-14. 6 minutes to go, we're down there. Nora kicked a field goal. They got the short kickoff. They got a repeat set. The bell went. We held off. We were like, that was...
Josiah Karapani as well in centre. The double, he played well. I
Came
think.
down from Cup, Josiah, very good player. He scored a double, freakish tries as well. Wasn't just like put the ball over the line. He
Had to work for it.
beat
Yeah.
5 defenders probably both times and
Wow.
put it down. But yeah, he should be up in Cup this week.
Yeah, Tommy. On the back of that, give us the scores for the round. How did they go? How did we fare?
I want to quickly talk about, first off, the big game of the week was the Roosters versus
We can
Sharks.
edit this.
Whoa! Yeah.
Well, Mace,
Poor old Hugo.
we hyped it up for
I
weeks.
hope we're not the mock for the plays that come on. We brought Hugo on. You slaughtered him. What have we done?
Well, it was a few weeks ago. We've hyped it up for a few weeks as the big game, as the bragging rights, and I don't know if I'm necessarily shocked as to who won. I think the Sharks are the team unequivocally to beat in the comp now, but I'm definitely shocked by the result. 26-6, the Sharks
Is that
beat 'em.
something? So Tommy's been quite convinced that the Sharks are the team to beat.
Convinced
Do you-
as well. Sold.
Sold?
They are a gun side. Their forward pack is a forward pack.
Yeah.
Like, they don't go backwards at any stage. They
Yeah.
are so good.
Well, I've got here that was the story of this game. Their forward pack absolutely dominated the poor Roosters.
Roosters,
yeah.
sorry to bump in, but
That's
the
fine.
Roosters pack is not light as well.
Yeah,
they
they've
are
got big
very
boys. How much do you weigh yourself?
87. I don't look it, but yeah, bit tubby underneath.
Bit tubby. I trust you.
Got
I
the
know
big
that- I know the
fellas going
feeling.
But Blake Hosking at lock, he was absolutely destructive, as well as the two props, Lachlan Crouch and Max Bradbury. They got them back this week, and they controlled the middle, and they put it to the Roosters.
What do you think went wrong in the game for East? Obviously, the forward pack was dominant. What else was it?
They dominated the Chooks. They dominated possession in the second half. They came out swinging in the second half, but this Cronulla side, they just would not give up. They defended their hearts out. They were down to 12 men towards the end of the game, but they just defended and defended and defended, and the Roosters couldn't break them. So yeah,
Have you played both teams?
Yeah, Cronulla's out injured round 1. Then we played Roosters round 2. In the first 20 minutes, we were down 20-0 against the Chookies. They rolled us.
Tells you
And-
how good
Great
Cronulla
start
are.
to the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And Cronulla, I watched that game and we were in it. It was 12-6 until the probably 55th minute, and we just let in 2 soft tries. Game over. We had chances to score, didn't take them, and
Yeah.
that's what the good teams do, make you pay.
Mate, do you think you are a top 4 side? Are you a chance of? What about your finals?
Look, if we have this same team we have now, I reckon we're a top 4 side. If this
Yeah.
team continues, there's a few freaks. You got Munro,
yeah,
the
Poole,
Hazing
yeah.
from Queensland, Tom Fletcher, Queensland boy. There's a few Queensland guns. And Romano Cook's a gun at hooker.
Yeah,
And if we stay fit and strong,
you'll go well.
anything's
the
possible.
story of your boys' season is you seem to beat these teams that you don't expect to beat. Like, for example, the Panthers. You beat the Panthers, which will bring me to this next game. Panthers. It was an interesting game between. They played the Knights last week, and they came out 24-4 at half time, and you're thinking, oh no, this is going to be a bloody blowout here for the poor Knights, but. They nearly choked it in the end. The Panthers they bring it back. The Knights 28-24 in the end. It was a gutsy fight back by this Knights team, and the Knights they play the Storm next week, who obviously they're going to be a bit down in the dumps after the loss against you boys.
Yeah. Well,
I'd like to see the Knights try to get a win against its Storm team.
Yeah, they've been probably a bottom 4 side, the Knights. So that's a great
Very
effort
average.
to come
A
back
great
against
fight back.
Penrith.
Was that Penrith taking the foot off the throttle? Or?
Well, Manny was even saying before that they're sort of. It feels like they're a first half team. They put everything, all the eggs in the one basket in the first half,
Yeah,
and then
just
they
hold
let
on
the
for
foot
dear
off the
life.
gas in the second half. So,
yeah, I remember the week we played them. The week before, they were up by 16 at the break as well.
Yeah.
And they ended up winning by 2 points. I think it could have been against Canberra. I could be wrong, but ours was like they're going to put all our energy in their first half, but they did the opposite to us. They came out in the second half stronger than they did the first half.
Yeah.
So.
Well, speaking about Canberra, that leads me nicely into the next game of the round. Not much on this game. Manly versus Raiders. Manly got the win in the end, 24-16. Zane Dunford moving from second row to lock. He impressed me. He was good in that position, but yeah, I think that's just a sort of free win for Manly there.
Good kid, Zane. He couldn't make our match side at Manly.
Yeah, wow.
It was the year we won the grand final, though, so it was a pretty good side. But he's come leaps and bounds since then. His old man, Matty Dunford, played first grade for Manly. So there's some nice, good blood there, you know.
Obviously,
Comes
got
from
a good
stock.
work ethic.
Good stock, yeah.
Very hard worker, I remember.
Next game here, Dragons. My Dragons. They get a win finally. They get a win against the Tigers.
The Dragons.
The bloody Dragons. 34-20, they beat the Tigers, but it was a story of the Daly Cherry Evans Josh Schuster pairing that I talked about a little bit earlier in one of our episodes.
Really?
Pascoe and Perryman were in control for most of the game, and a man that I've played with growing up. He's just been brought up from SG Ball. It was his debut game in Flegg. Savelio Tamale scored a double, and he was destructive at centre. They couldn't stop him at times.
Hasn't he come in leaps and bounds?
Well, when I was playing with him down at Raddy's, he's grown from this sort of small, sort of skinny, like sort of my size almost, to this. He looks like a grown man.
Is it
It's
puberty?
scary. I wouldn't want to jump
hit
in
that
front
at
of him.
20.
Looks a bit like you, mate.
Well, not just puberty, but hard work. Hard work with this bloke. He's worked hard to get to where he is, and he scored in the Charity Shield game against the Rabbitohs for the Dragons, and yeah, he's a great bloke as well, and he played well.
Tell us about the big game, mate. The one I'm really interested in, the Canterbury Parramatta.
Well,
game.
this is my main game for the week. It was a great game, an absolute blockbuster of a game, with Dogs returning to glory with the win, 26-22. They've finally snapped Para's winning streak of 4 games, putting them back amongst the winners category. They came out lively, Canterbury, in the beginning stages with 2 tries coming through. Geordie Mazzoni, an SG Ball graduate, he got 2 tries on the wing there. And he ended up going to bag a hat-trick, Geordie, on the wing there, so that was good for him.
Where do these two teams sit in the scheme of the ladder?
Well, Doggies are still up there. I've said they had
third, I think.
Yeah, they had a couple losses back-to-back where I said it would don't need to worry yet too much because they've still got a great side, and this Eels team are very much up there as well.
Have you played either of these teams
Yeah,
yet?
we played Doggies last week. We won 26-14. It was a good win. We're down 10-0.
Yeah, that was another game where it was sort of like...
Is that when you got your haircut?
Actually, was that Friday? It was Good Friday.
Surprised you didn't run out in the wrong jersey.
I've got to say, this Parramatta side, though, they've come off 4 straight.
Yeah.
4 straight wins.
Surprising everyone,
that's
Para.
Surprising?
Surprising everyone. Tell you that.
Yeah.
No one.
Why is that?
I don't know. They lost a lot of guns, I'm pretty sure. They got scouted and they recruited heavily and they were doing the job for them, I guess. And they weren't beating bad teams either as well.
I like the look of their halves and their fullback. Lindsay Munro at fullback, he's come into the team a little bit later, and he's been an X factor for them. And I don't want to butcher his name again, but it was Mac Puafisi.
And
There
then
you go.
Hicks, both from South.
Puafisi.
Puffy.
Yeah.
like it.
South and Manly, those boys.
Both of those boys I've been interested in, but they've been good.
My poor old Tigers, mate.
Yeah.
Where are we? Where are we with my poor old Tigers?
The Tigers.
You're just kicking goals everywhere at the
Oh, it was
Tigers.
the Dragons.
It was the Dragons.
Oh, that was the Dragons. Sorry,
I think they're
I went to
last in
sleep.
every competition. The
Oh man,
Tigers.
I am. I
Last
went to
in
sleep
every-
in the corner over here. Sorry, buddy.
The doggies got Jack Todd back in the forwards. They got a few forwards back actually after their loss to Manny's Bunnies here, which was definitely a good thing for them to strengthen their pack up again. The game was fairly even, both sides with very similar stats, most notably in tackle effectiveness, 90% for both teams, upwards of 90%. So that was good. And yeah, a player who received kind words from me a couple of weeks back, Samuel Noke, off the bench, the hooker. He was the hero of this game. He darted out of dummy half and fought off 4 Eels players to score the winning try for this Dogs team. So that was good to see. And yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah, wow.
Terrific.
I just want to touch on with you. You're currently at South. You've gone to a few different clubs.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to stay at South?
Yeah, I do. I've got another couple of years there signed for, so I'm loving it. I'm a South boy.
Is
Go
that
for
right?
South, diehard fan. So
You know what the best thing about being a South junior? Becoming an East senior.
Oh, please.
I
Hey,
don't
really.
You would never go down, could
come
you?
up with the call of the
never.
bloody week.
I'd go play in like Queensland Cup before I went to Roosters.
So he's a really die-out South fan,
Yeah,
isn't
I
he?
can't stand the Roosters. I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna bring a new thing into play here. Nat Wood, when we had Hugo Savala on a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned that we should start doing the special guests named the Young Guns, which I like the idea so much that we're going to put it into play now. Manny, can you name us a Young Gun for this week?
Young gun for the week. I'm going to give it to my South teammate, Josiah Karapani.
The double
When-
man.
Watching him score those 2 tries, he got the ball probably 15 metres out from the standing start, and he just went, weaved around like 4 or 5 defenders.
Wow.
And just both times, I was like, everyone on the bench was like, how the hell did this guy just do that? He got dropped from Cup, don't know why. Maybe get his confidence back down in Flegg. And then,
Do you think you'll play first grade?
yeah, he will crack it this year. If Campbell
This
Graham,
year?
Wow. That's a
if
big
Campbell
Wow.
Graham goes to Origin, Latrell Mitchell Origin, he will get a crack in somewhere in that back line.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got to think about it like that. They could lose
Yeah.
2 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the next in line with Tane Mill.
And just a final one, mate. Tell me someone that you played this year that you believe is right up there to make it in first grade. Someone that's a bit of a freak.
Bit of a freak. Penrith fullback Liam
Liam
Myson.
Myson, yeah.
Yeah.
We versed him, and he was just everywhere.
Yeah.
He's just so quick. He's a good fullback. And I was watching our game over, and I was watching him. So I got to learn how this guy plays because he's a very good fullback. And
Well, I
Penrith
believe-
he's like
yeah.
Dylan Edwards, just younger.
Yeah.
I believe
literally what he is.
he's injured because he hasn't played for a
Yeah,
few
I'm
weeks.
looking at the team list. He's not in this
But,
week.
and that
against
could
us.
be the reason that this Panthers side aren't as strong as they were, because he's been mentioned a couple of times on these podcasts, and yeah, he is a freak.
He's a
so-
good player.
Yeah,
Very good
super.
player. I reckon he should crack. He's like literally Dylan Edwards, just
That's-
younger.
Yeah, wow.
Like identical.
That's a big rap, Dylan Edwards.
Oh, wow. What a player. What a player. Well, Manny, I tell you what, mate, you've passed the test.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been fantastic.
Thanks
We've
for having
had
us.
Hugo on. We've now had you on, mate, and just we'd love to have you back again.
Need to get rid of
when
the
you're free.
haircut.
Yeah, well, I'll get rid of the haircut next time I'm on.
Yeah.
Come with someone else, maybe.
Mace, it's always good to see you. Tommy.
Thanks, man.
Please go to www.btfu.com.au or subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Oh.